Hey, I'm Megan Simone and I run Social Synergy Company. So my company went out and we talked to over 140 e-commerce brands, and I really wanted to share with you guys what happened and what they said. So we surveyed over 140 e-commerce business owners to understand their struggles and to help identify the types of solutions that we can provide for them. So we identified e-commerce brands in a ton of different industries across the world, from travel products to skincare to sustainability. There were a ton of industries that we looked into. So let's jump straight into the results, starting with one of our questions that we asked, which was, what are the biggest struggles within your business? Okay, so here were the results for this question. So what are the biggest struggles within your business? So I would just read off some of the results for you guys. Marketing costs, growth strategies, inventory management, finance, budgeting, marketing the products to a larger audience, limited access to customer tracking data resulting in lower effectiveness of advertising strategies post iOS 14 changes, growth, time to do all activities, all areas like marketing, sales, social media, productivity, as well as support systems to help elevate their brand. They also struggle with generating leads and gaining more clients. Being able to utilize social media marketing to its fullest potential to drive more customers to their store, customer management, choosing the right products based on product trends. Marketing and attracting clients, and growth. So these are just a few of the answers that we received as far as what their biggest struggles were within your business. So as you can see, one of the most common struggle is marketing and growth strategies. So why is this a difficult problem to overcome? So marketing your business and growing it costs money that most business owners are not willing to invest. Many business owners, they take the approach of saving as much money as they can. Every amount of profit they make, they put right into their pockets instead of putting it into their business. So honestly, I think that this is a huge mistake, because by investing in your business rather than giving yourself a high-paying salary, you have the opportunity to scale your business way beyond what it could be if you're just putting the money straight into your pocket. I personally, in my business, continue to reinvest my profits to keep providing my clients with the best services possible and to give my business the opportunity to scale. This isn't just something I do. I've noticed that all of the best brands that are making the most amount of money are reinvesting in their businesses to scale even faster, right? So think about brands like huge ones like, Coca-Cola, Nike. These types of brands, are they just taking all their profits and skimping on marketing? No, they are reinvesting all of that money into their marketing strategies, getting the word out there, coming up with phenomenal product design, making sure that people, are noticing them on social media. So the biggest brands and the biggest companies and all the ones that are doing well are reinvesting their money into their business so that way they can scale even faster. So another problem, right, in this whole question was struggling to find the right marketing strategy. So this is really common. This is a really common thing that I come across when I talk to e-commerce brands. Right now, Instagram and Facebook are heavily, overly saturated. So all the big brands, especially the ones I just mentioned, right, like Coca-Cola, Nike, they have taken over these platforms. They are beating out smaller brands due to their insane ad spend that they're able to offer. So they can invest millions of dollars into their marketing budget and just absolutely take over all of these platforms. And honestly, that's what they've done. And it's making it really difficult for the smaller brands. And by smaller, I mean, brands that aren't making billions of dollars like these giant companies are. All of us have a small business, I guess, in that respect. But they are, smaller brands and smaller businesses are really being beat out by these giants who are taking over these types of platforms. So a lot of the methods that once worked in the past are not working now when it comes to marketing strategy. Why is this? Honestly, it's because you are competing in a red ocean. So what do I mean by this? I built a little graphic here to kind of go over, what's going on. So there are two types of oceans that you can be in, right? So the red ocean is competing in an existing market space, a space where it's a very common marketing strategy. A lot of brands are utilizing it. You have to then beat out the competition. Because you're competing in such an overly saturated market, you have to beat out the competition. If you're not beating out the competition, you aren't competing. You have to exploit existing demand, right? So you're capitalizing on the demand that's already out there on these really competitive platforms. You have to make the value cost trade-off, right? And then you also have to align the whole system with a strategic choice of either differentiating yourself or offering stuff at a lower cost, right? Those are the only two ways that you can compete in a red ocean, is by either lowering your cost, right, or making yourself so different from the competition that people have to purchase through you and they can't purchase through anybody else. So there's obviously a lot of negatives of competing in a space like this. It's red. It's red for a reason, because it's hard, because it's bloody. You know, these brands are just beating smaller ones out in a red ocean. So what about a blue ocean, right? Because this is what we really want to be going for, is a blue ocean strategy. So a blue ocean strategy is when you're creating a new marketing strategy in a marketing space that does not have much competition, right? It's a new marketing space. There's not as many brands there. And it's so new that people aren't utilizing it as much as they should be. So this really makes the competition irrelevant, right? Because although, yes, the bigger brands are going to eventually head over to these applications and these, utilize these new marketing methods, at the moment, if it's a new marketing space with a blue ocean strategy, it makes your competition really irrelevant, because you're in such an open space to create as many opportunities as possible. So with the blue ocean strategy, you're also capturing new demand, right? You're capturing new people who are seeing a product or service for the first time on that specific marketing platform or using that specific marketing strategy. So you're actually breaking the value cost trade-off in the end, and then you're aligning the whole system of your activities in trying to differentiate yourself, and try to offer, things at a lower cost. But unlike a red ocean, with the blue ocean, you don't have to do this as much, right? If there's nobody there to compete with, then you don't really have to differentiate yourself as much. If there's nobody there to compete with, you don't have to lower your prices as much. So this is why a blue ocean is a really interesting strategy to take advantage of. And there's not many blue oceans that come up. They'll come up every once in a while and then they'll disappear because they'll be taken over by the big brands. So that's, something to kind of keep in mind. So your goal as a business owner is really to find a blue ocean and capitalize on it, right? That's your goal. You really want to find that blue ocean. At the moment, you're not going to find your blue ocean on Instagram. It's not on Facebook. It's not on Twitter. It's not on YouTube. And we all know this, right? We know that the big brands are on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're on YouTube. So the only option at the moment right now for a true blue ocean, for a true blue ocean strategy, is TikTok. And the reason I say this is because not many brands are using this method yet. And the organic reach on this platform is absolutely insane. So your competitors right now, as we speak, your competitors are slowly moving over to TikTok, because that's where the attention is. That's where people are shifting to. That's where the blue ocean is. It's not so overly saturated yet that you can't get phenomenal results for your business, but it's not going to stay like this forever. You're not going to have this opportunity for the rest of your life. TikTok is eventually going to become that red ocean, but at the moment it is blue. So following the attention and finding those blue oceans is absolutely key if you want to beat your competitors and if you want to generate the most amount of sales. And, that's just point blank. Like, finding that blue ocean and beating your competitors out, that's how you win. That's how you become a winning business. So let's look at the next batch of results. This is where people answer the question, what is stopping you from overcoming these problems? So what's stopping them from overcoming, these, not knowing their marketing strategy, right? What's stopping them from finding that blue ocean? What's stopping them from being able to invest in their business? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so what's stopping you from overcoming these marketing and growth problems? Needing promotion, time, lack of knowledge on how to grow following organically, advertising, time. This person's not stopping. They took a backseat for the main job. So, they weren't pulling in enough money to even continue because of competing in these red oceans. Figuring out a way to stand out in an overly saturated market. That's huge. Wrong marketing strategy. Procrastination and the execution of the acquired knowledge. Yeah, that's huge too. Time. iOS 14 changes that are already implemented, as well as the inability to use efficient or effective third-party software to track pixel data correctly. Yeah, that's huge. That's been a really difficult change on Facebook lately, especially for the e-commerce brands. Time and money. Motivation. Hard to stay consistent when you feel that your hard work doesn't show progress. I'm all about saving time and being efficient. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of common responses to these questions. So let's kind of dive into what these responses mean. Okay, so as you can see, the top problems that we found when asking this question is lack of time. So business owners are busy. They don't have the time to source every single customer themselves. It would be literally impossible for you to go out and individually find every single customer that you're looking for, to talk to them, to sell them on your product, and to get them to purchase it. It's impossible. You can't go out there and just individually find every single person and talk to them, because first of all, you don't have enough time in the day. Second of all, you don't have the resources to go and talk to a consumer, individually every day. So this is why you need systems at scale in place to get your product out there to the most amount of people possible. Without this system, people don't know you. Without something that gets your product out there and educates people about what you're offering, they're not going to buy from you. And if people don't know your product even exists, they're not going to purchase it. So lack of time is huge. Lack of time can be, the end of a really successful business. If you don't have the time to implement the things you need to implement, your business isn't going to do so well. So next was lack of knowledge. This is another really common problem that was mentioned through the business owners that we surveyed. So most e-commerce business owners are experts at picking the right products to sell. They're experts at organizing the supplier, building the back-end operations, but this doesn't mean that they're experts at marketing or creating advertising campaigns. You can't be an expert at everything. You can't be an expert at owning an e-commerce store and be an expert at a million other things, at once. So marketing ends up kind of falling away as like a main priority, because they are, most e-commerce business owners, they want to focus on their skill set, which is figuring out what the market wants, finding the right product for it, sourcing the product, building the back ends of stuff. Becoming an expert at marketing and advertising campaigns takes a lot of time and energy and effort. So if you really want to succeed when it comes to marketing, you really have two options. Okay. And these are, the only two that really exist in this space. Is number one, you can spend months on end researching every marketing method you want to try. Then you can spend thousands of dollars on courses teaching you how to do it. And then you can spend another couple thousands of dollars testing it out and seeing if it performs. This process can take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. I've been in this position before. When I first started a business many years ago, I tried out e-commerce, and this was the method that I utilized, and it was not fun. It was not fun. It cost me a ton of time. And ultimately, it costs a lot more money to go about it this way, because you're spending thousands of dollars on stuff that you're not even really sure if it's going to work or not. You don't really have any proof that this is going to work for what you're looking for your specific need. You are just kind of guessing at that point. And then number two, the other option is you can work with a team who already knows the ins and outs of the market for your specific industry. Then you can pay them for the knowledge that they already have and utilize the systems they've already built to shortcut the time that it would take to do it on your own. So this process can take anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks. So really you have, an option here. And both options are valid. Maybe you try option one and it works out amazingly for you. And if so, that's great. And I'm super happy that it worked out well for you. But option number one costs you a ton of time and ultimately costs you a lot more money than if you were to go with option two kind of right off the bat. Option two doesn't cost you time and it costs money, but it doesn't cost as much money as testing random things out to see if it performs. So those are the two options there as far as the lack of knowledge. The next one is having the wrong marketing strategy. So this is one of the most common concerns we heard from many business owners. They really felt like they had the wrong marketing strategy. So some of the things they said were, I wrote them down here. The market is too overly saturated. It costs too much to keep up with my current marketing strategy. I don't have the time to devote to setting up and running a new marketing strategy. Facebook's updates have made it nearly impossible to compete on their platforms. I don't know enough about marketing to develop a new strategy. So these are all problems that are really typical for e-commerce business owners. I've heard them, time after time from all the people we surveyed and from many more businesses that I've spoken with on my own. So why are these problems, coming up again and again and again and again? Honestly, it's because business owners are trying to market the same way that brands have always been for the past 10 years. Brands and businesses are marketing the same way as every other brand, and they're not changing anything up. They're not utilizing blue oceans that are coming up, every once in a while. They're using old strategies that don't work or are at best minimally efficient. Like I'm talking 1.5 ROAS. And they're relying on overly saturated markets instead of trying to find those blue oceans. They don't know enough about how digital marketing has evolved to truly find a way to adapt. Because as marketing evolves, right, we have to adapt to it. We have to adapt. We can't be doing the same thing we've been doing for 10 years. We can't keep repeating the past if we want to be great. We have to utilize what's new, where the attention is, and where the blue ocean is ultimately. So all these problems that I mentioned, that business owners have told me, they can be solved with more time, more knowledge, and a uniquely competitive and efficient marketing strategy. So these are all problems you can solve on your own if you have 6 months to 2 years to spare. If you have 6 months to 2 years to spare to figure all this out by yourself, then that's amazing. If you have enough savings to last that long and not have to go back to a typical 9-to-5 job, that's awesome. If you are really dedicated, you could probably figure it out in 6 months. If you're super dedicated, working 8 hours a day, every single day, no breaks, probably can do it in 6 months. But the other option is to utilize a shortcut that's already built, ready to go, and work with a team that can give you more time in the day to spend on other areas of your business. You can utilize advanced knowledge of campaigns to make them hugely successful, and you can take advantage of new marketing methods to generate more sales than you've ever even seen before. So ultimately, the choice is yours. I went over, all the questions that I felt like were important to go over in this video, and what a lot of e-commerce brands are saying. So if you want to see how we do it, if you want to see how you can utilize a shortcut and not spend 6 months to 2 years figuring out something, feel free to click the link in the description or in this post to learn more. And I would love to show you how you can utilize a blue ocean strategy. Whether you want to go at it by yourself or if you want to use a team, doesn't matter. I'd be happy to show you how you can use a blue ocean to get to where you want to go. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.